The National Weather Service in the Twin Cities has issued a severe thunderstorm warning.
Will it run? Will it run with a different, probably equally bad pressure regulator? That wasn't going to pass any fuel. I think we found the low compression. Something is not right. Hear that? It moves. Hear that? See all those? They make a good noise. Nothing. That doesn't move. In you go. Good luck. Welcome to your new home. Looks the same to me. There, they're all straight now. Yeah, I got rained out big time today. It's not raining right now though, so I'm gonna try to get something done. Otherwise, I'm gonna be angry with myself. So I'm gonna try to get that shift linkage out because I want to make sure that it's the same. I mean, I'm certain it is, but I'm gonna pull that bolt out quick, pop the clip off the inside, and then we'll compare the two. I really thought I had that bolt on the run, and then it just went and snapped on me. So, you know how that goes. That one's not broke off flush though, so I think I can work that one out if I get the bracket out. Well, that's what I'm gonna have to do. But here we go. That sure looks the same to me. Let's go find out. So there's our stuck one. And here is our good one. Tell me that ain't the same. Besides the fact that this is spun this way, but all you gotta do is spin it that way. Yeah, it's kind of sprung because of the way it's been sitting, but you tell me that isn't the exact same. So the end is all the same. That's the same. This just gotta move. Those are the same length. The bend is the same. That's this metal piece is the same. That's the same shift linkage, so that's cool. Thanks, Chrysler. Very good. Well, it's starting to rain again, but looky what I've got. So I gotta find a matching bolt and put the shift linkage in quick. And boom, we got a shift linkage also. There's a rainbow. That's kind of cool. Yeah, you can see them. Just barely forming. You can kind of see them. Alright, got you a flashlight. Look at that, we're in there. Bolted in there with a new bolt. I anti-seized the heck out of that. I should have anti-seized that, but we'll be okay. And it's clipped in. I forgot to push that rubber boot down. I will. It is pushed in there, and the clip is in. I see that hole right there in this frame. I ran this punch through it, and it's in the perfect spot to hit that little clip. Shall we see if it works? I'm trying to make it so you guys can kind of see what's going on here. Because I don't have a... That'll work right there. So we're in 1, all the way down. 3. Drive is right in the lock. Neutral, reverse, park. Okay, so we're working on repairing the fuel rail here, and I've got it apart and I've got it all cleaned up. I replaced the valve in here that was leaking. It basically fell apart when I took it out. I got the old lines cut off. I got the quick connects here. We're going to reuse those. And we got some new 1/4 inch and 5/16 fuel hose. Got some fuel pressure clamps. Got the injectors. The O-rings. Here's the new pressure regulator. Here's the OEM repair kit, along with some seal all and all the clips, and there's some of the old O-rings I took out. So let's put this back together real quick. that is how you rebuild a Chrysler 3.3, 3.8 fuel rail. So yeah, we got new hoses on, clamps, same old hose protectors, new pressure regulator, new injectors, new valve stem, and we cleaned up and put on the OEM recall fuel rail repair clamps. And we used a lot of seal all. So it acts as a good lubricant for these O-rings to go in, and then it seals, and it's, you know, gas proof and oil resistant and whatever. Have fun getting those out, but you know, that's a problem for the next guy, which is me in 10 years. Probably, who knows. But yeah, so we got this all on. Let's go bolt this up while this is still curing. That way we get it in place. And that'll be that. Okay, fuel rail is back in. I believe next is to hook up the harness, and then we will test the rail before we put the intake back on. That way we know it works and we don't have to worry about trying to deal with fuel leaks with the intake back on or having to take the intake back off. I've been there, done that before. That's never fun. Make sure these clamps are on. There. Yeah, those two injectors were back a little further than they should have been. Or pushed in because I had to tap them in. But they're all in. Look at that. Looks pretty good. Okay, now that I can see, try it now. There you go. Stop! Okay, I got nothing on the injectors. Why not? Why do I got nothing on the injectors? I can't think of why I wouldn't have anything on the injectors right now. Why not? Oh, the crank sensor's unplugged. Duh. No wonder. It doesn't. Or the cam sensor. Cam sensor's unplugged. No wonder it don't work. Hang on. Let me plug that back in. Okay. Cam sensor's hooked up. Let me grab my flashlight that I knocked on the ground. All right. Try it now. Starter pane. That's got to be dealt with. Oh. Good. All 6 are going. We're good. We're set. We got fuel.
Okay, that's all you need. That's cool. So now, awesome.
I got to get the rest of the intake on and it's done. Hopefully. All right, good news. We've got fuel. The fuel system is fixed. Getting ready to put the intake on, so I put all of the new wires in. Made that mistake before putting the intake on before the wire's done that mistake before. So got that, got them all labeled here. So when we put the intake on, we don't lose track of what's what, especially the back 3. Because you got to go, it's 246 and then 315 on the coil pack. Can't get that backwards, done that before too. Yeah, so I'm going to clean up this gasket surface, prep the intake, drop the intake in, hook all that stuff up. We got to scrape the EGR gasket, get that ready first, or the EGR surface. Same with the intake. We're going to scrape all those gaskets. I'll do that off camera, get that ready. We'll have the throttle body off because we'll clean that after the intake is on. That's pretty quick to do. And we're getting pretty close. Getting pretty close. What did I forget? I think we're good. Coolant system is all sealed up. I think we're going to pop the lower hose after we're done with this. Drain that coolant out. I got some fresh green antifreeze we'll mix up and put in. We'll get as much of that old stuff out as possible. But, yeah. We fixed what we went in to fix. And then some. And when that cranked over, you could hear it. It sounded better. Remember last time how it sounded like it had that skip? That was that stuck valve that I think is no longer stuck. Alright, here's an update. Intake is fully on. Bolted down there, bolted down at that bracket, bolted down and tight here. All of the vacuum connections are on the back. PCV is on. Got the guy to the brake booster on. EGR is on. Bolted on down below as well. Got this guy on, this little tube for the vent for the valve cover. Got the coil pack on. All the wires on. 2, 4, 6, 3, 1, 5. Fuel injector rails on. Everything's on there. We verified that all worked. Got that ground cleaned up and put back on just now. Here's sandpaper in my hand. Got the air box here. Got the 2 nuts for the throttle body. Apparently I lost one of these bolts. Who knows where that is? Hopefully not in the engine. Here's my replacement one. Should work just fine. Anyway, I'm going to go clean the throttle body up. Bring it back. Bolt that bad boy on. Plug it in. I said I was going to drain that rad. I decided against it. It's mostly drained anyway. I don't know how much extra that would be worth. So let's pour this in while we're thinking about it here, huh? Let's knock another thing off the list. Drink up. Okay, guys. Here we are. Got throttle body on. Got it bolted down. Got the throttle cables on. Got the intake boot on. Got the all clicked in place. I topped off the coolant again. You can hear it bubbling. We've got all the fluids in it. I don't see any leaks. Got everything tight. Fuel rail's in. Fuel rail is not leaking. I think we're ready to actually see if this thing will run. Last time didn't count. One cylinder at 250 RPMs does not count. So, are you guys ready to see this 1993 Plymouth Grand Voyager SE that has been off the road since 2006 will run again? And hopefully drive. And we will fire it up. You guys are going to be on engine duty, so if anything goes wrong, yell really loud. Granted, I won't be able to hear you, but, you know, at least yell. That'd be cool.
Just keep it cranky when it goes.
What's making that noise?
It's just a squawk.
Well, what's making that squawk, though?
I don't know.
Oh, there's water on the belt. It's probably that. There's water on the belt.
That could be.
Hoping it's that.
You gotta clear her up. She ain't been running in a while.
I'm aware of that. Ran on at least 2 cylinders, I'd say. Come on. Play hard to get, aren't you? Sounds fun. All right. It's getting better. I really think we need to get those valves to seat and get unstuck. I really think that's what it is. Maybe. My next guess, anyway. Crank pulley's spinning true. That's nice. It's ticky, but it's not knocky. Okay, so we get a different coil pack here. We're going to try this. Just in case. Okay, you guys are going to ride with me. So, new coil pack is in. I mean, hopefully it works. No, it's doing the same thing. Nah, it's doing the exact same thing. Great oil pressure. I don't know if it's charging. Got kind of fuel. I don't know what to think. It's backfiring out the intake. What did we miss? Besides the fact that it sat for so long. What's not right? So it ain't that, I don't think. Back. Let's crank it over and let's just listen to see how it sounds. I should probably do a compression test at this point. But here, it's unplugged. Let's just crank it over and see what it sounds like. Sounds fine. That sounds good. Sounds like even compression. I don't think compression's an issue. That sounds good. I truly think it's a fuel problem. I think it's a fuel problem, and it's gonna eat at me if I don't go get gas. I really don't want to. It's late. I gotta work tomorrow. I know where I can get gas. The Blue Van's tank that's in the shed. Let me go get some more gas. I'll put more in it. But it's pumping fuel. You know? I don't know. I'll try it. It's not going to hurt. That tank should be empty when I put it up anywhere. It's going to cause me a problem. So I'll go empty that tank anyway. 2 birds, 1 stone, right? Yeah, but that cranks over just fine. That sounds good. It sounds like it's got compression. Keys off. Okay, good. Okay, I mean, it's got gas. I put another, like, 4 gallons in it. Whatever came out of that tank, 3 or 4. I don't know. Look at the fuel gauge. Yeah, it's got gas, okay? Yeah, it does. Come on. Oh, there was a cylinder it picked up. Come on. Oh, you can hear the fuel pump running. Why does it run great for a second? You know what I mean? The bright side, hey, we've completely freed up that pedal. I sprayed it earlier and it was better. It's perfect now. Oh, there's the starter again. I think it's telling me it's done. It's getting better though, because we're getting it to where we can kind of run it for a little bit here. I mean, I'm pulsating the throttle. What does that mean? So we're kind of metering. Picked up a cylinder. Definitely picked up a cylinder. Try to keep it up to 1 to 2,000 RPM. Try, you know, seat those valves is what I'm trying to do, I think. I don't know. Oh. I think it's getting better. I truly think it is. Can we work it out of it? It smells rich. It smells very, very rich. Like we're not firing on cylinders. What? I don't know, guys. I don't know. We can pull a plug and see what it looks like. How about that? Let's pull a plug. I'll pull one out and I'll bring it back. Well, number 6 looks okay. So that one looks like it's firing. Number 4 looks okay too. Also kind of looks like it's firing. That one looks okay too. Alright, those front 3 plugs looked okay. Obviously can't get to the back ones. I mean, what can I say other than we could try it one more time, see if we can keep it running. But beyond that, I think we got to do some thinking about what's going on here. We might be on to something. So they did make a change in the injectors in 94. So these are dated or labeled 92 right here, and then they've got this part number. Those orange ones are 94, and they're a different part number. I would think it would run better than that, but it could be possible the injectors are wrong. That would make sense why we're thinking it's a fuel issue. You know what I mean? Because to get it to run at all, we have to change the air metering. And we have to give it a lot of air, which means it's got a lot of fuel, which means it's probably dumping fuel and flooding. Now the backfiring is probably because there's so much fuel in the intake. You know what I mean? That could be it. Okay guys, I might have some good news here. So, I took our old injectors out of the trash can. I literally had to dig them out. And I soaked them in a bottle of seafoam overnight. And the seafoam kind of turned that color. See all the stuff at the, look at all the rust at the bottom. See all that? All the dirt and stuff. That's what came out of the injectors. And then I took a pick, and that stuff had softened up what was on the nozzles. And I was able to scrub and pick the stuff off the nozzles. And then I you know, sprayed the heck out of them with airflow cleaner or whatever and smacked them down, got everything out. And right now, I've got this little pigtail here rigged up to a battery. And what I'm doing is I'm going through and I'm actuating the injectors. So I guess I'll plug this one in and I'll show you what's going on here. So we get this injector to plug in. Nope, if I plug it in the right way, that would help a lot. Doing this one-handed, as usual, is difficult. Dang it, come on. I should have left this plugged in, but there we go. There. So, got ourselves this. As you can see, you can hear it. What I was doing is I was filling it with WD-40, and then I was spraying it, and I was watching it spray, or getting it to spray. That one was stuck originally until I kept actuating it and tapping it. And now it's freed up just fine. Works just fine. That one works. I've got 4 more to test. Here, if I set you right here, I'll zoom you out. We'll test one live. How about that? Maybe, yeah, that camera should be sitting fine. This pigtail here is off of it's the original harness off of the blue van that was wire burned. It's still got all the original retainer clips and everything on it, which is crazy. So we've got this injector here. We will plug him in. We will fill him with WD-40. There, full. And I'm going to take my harness. Oh, and that one's working. Look at it. See it wetting the towel? Oh, that one's working great. That one makes a great noise. Almost like this one's working better than the other ones, so I should go back to the other ones. This one's working fantastic. Look at that. That one drank all of the fluid. It's still spraying it. That one works really, really good. Okay, let's try this one. Does it work, or is it stick or stuck? Stuck. Doing nothing right now. The only thing I can hear is the sparks when I hit the battery. It's kind of drank all the WD. So we'll give it some more. To be fair, I'm sure my wire that's really thin is really helping give it, you know, enough volts and amps. It's warm, I can feel that much. A little heat might help too, break it free. Alright, I just got number 5 to come back, and it smells like that old gas right now. You can see it spraying. But it smells like that old gas, so run some WD and whatever through it. So we got 5 of 6. We've been working on this number 6 for like 20 minutes. For that, it's clicking. I'll work on it a little more, but it's clicking, it's moving now. It was getting pretty warm. I mean, it still is, don't get me wrong, but it's freeing up. So we got 6 injectors. I mean, I figure I gotta take it apart anyway to put the new injectors in, so let's take it apart, plop these on that fuel rail, test it. Maybe they work. If they work, we'll put it back together. It ain't that much to take it apart, especially now that the gaskets are clean and all the surfaces are clean, and it ain't that bad. And all the bolts have been in and out. It's not that hard to take back apart, but we've got 6 injectors. Well, got my whole workspace cleaned up. Got our 6 injectors here. Remember when we were originally taking these out, how we had one spinning, like the bottom piece and not the top, because it was stuck in the bore? Well, I took our Cure-All, Seal-All, and I sealed that seam on all of them. I don't know if it would leak because of it or not, but I figure why not, just in case. Anyway, I am going to give it a shot. Man, I'm fumbling the camera today. And speed run getting this intake out. Pop that fuel rail, and we will flip those injectors in. I'll put the original coil back in. Since we're going with the original injectors, we might as well put the original coil pack back in, make sure that worked. And we will put it back together again. And then hopefully it runs. Speed run complete. Got the original injectors back in. Let's pressurize the rail, check for leaks. Hopefully there are none. Then we'll test fire them all. I suppose the computer knows better than to prime it some more. Make sure we've got pressure at the rail. Air still. So, do this. Trick it to prime it. A little bit of air, but there's some fuel. This is where I set myself on fire. Okay, pump sounded like it had pressure on it. So I think we got pressure. Ain't gonna have no spark because it's unhooked. Besides the fact I spilled fuel everywhere, I don't see any leaks. So, good. I think I'll let my dad crank it over and we'll just see how they spray. Alright, crank it over whenever.
Ready?
Yep. Okay, stop. 5 of 6 are perfect. This one right here is a little iffy. You want to do it again?
Yeah. Hey, switch him to a different plug-in.
No, he's working. It's just his spray is a little eh.
Ready?
Yep. Look at the blow by. Do it again?
Again?
Yeah, one more time.
Don't get gas all over.
Okay, we're good. Alright guys, got it all back together, I think. All the vacuum lines are hooked up. I didn't hook the throttle up, as Dad just noticed. Alright, we'll try hook the throttle up quick. Coolant's bubbling, I topped it off. Okay, I'm gonna put you over here, because you gotta go over here anyway. We'll hook up the throttle, and then I guess officially this is take 3 of will this 1993 Plymouth Grand Voyager SE run after being parked for 20 years. In there. There, throttle's hooked up. Yeah. Alright. This is better run. Better run a little better. These are the right injectors. Contact. Wants to idle. Leaking on the fuel injectors at all? Look okay?
Well, so far. be a lot of gas in there still.
You want to buy this van? It runs good. That's arguably better though. Like that's the best it's ran so far.
What's that 3/4 cam you got there?
I know, it's a race van. Runs like shit. It hasn't run in 20 years.
But you just replaced the engine.
No, that's the engine. That hasn't run in 20 years.
Fair enough.
Arguably, right now, this is the best it's ever ran. I think it's coming out of it. $20, wow. That's a fifth of the value of this van. All right, here we go. Starter. Darn you. Darn starter, my God. Oh, I don't want one. I don't think that's better. No. So I don't think that's it. Well, we tried, right? Try something stupid here, right? Oh, guess what? Reverse gear works. You see that? Think drive works? Oh God, it wants to move. Will it run? Not really. Will it drive? Maybe a little. The trans is good. Do we just try it? Everybody out of the way, sort of deal. Try to figure out where I'm going here so I don't hit anything. If it'll even move. Okay, I think I got a game plan here. Okay, this is arguably dumb. Get me going that way. Put me in neutral. Oh, power steering works. Bye. Now we're gonna get stuck in the backyard. Let's turn around. Transmission works. I can't see anything because it's dark out. See my headlights. And we're gonna have to go uphill here and it's dead. It's gonna be dead. Right now it's gonna be stuck in the yard. Come on. Come on. You can do it. It moves. Okay, we got a win today, guys. It's not gonna do it. That's it. Oh, we're stuck in the yard. Here, turn the light off. You can kind of see where we're at here. Move it again. Come on. We're not gonna make it up that hill. Guaranteed. And don't hit the brakes whatever we do. Well, the transmission's good, I guess. It made it from here all the way around and back to here. We're never getting up that hill. So I got the computers back in Gray Van, made sure it ran. Got the computer back in this one. Haven't verified if it ran or not. I'm kind of trying to let it cool down a little bit. Kind of pop things loose as it cycles and, you know, heats up and cools down. But let's start with the good news. That van just moved under its own power for the first time in at least 10 years. And based on that fuel, I want to say it's all of the 18 years it's been parked. I keep saying 20, I'm rounding up. But all of the 18 years it's been off the road, it's probably first time it's moved in a very, very, very long time. So we have a transmission that's got forward and reverse, which is better than I can say about Gray Van. It's got reverse gear. The engine, not so good. She's hurt bad. I've been kind of avoiding compression tests because I literally just don't want to know. I'm hoping it would run well enough that I don't have to know. But we're getting to the point where I'm going to have to check compression. So I think we'll get the compression tester out, not today, and we'll test the front three, see how it looks. Looks good on all those three, maybe I'll get motivated to do the back three. If it doesn't look good on these three, I might just close my eyes and start looking for a motor. Alright, it's been a couple hours. We're going to try it real quick. Well, naturally my phone goes dead when I try to do something, but I told y'all it would move when it was cold. So the engine's got more compression when everything's slightly shrunk, which tells me that it has no compression. But it moved, and this is where it's going to sit. It's actually in a better spot, so if I have to do work on it, you know, we're on the concrete here, up under the roof. Anyway, there it sits, turned around. Will it run and drive after 18 years sitting since 2006? Kinda, sorta. Alright guys, welcome back. It's a new day. See anything different? I'll give you a guess, and it's not a new motor. I was at work today, and my dad decided to hand wash and wax the van. So unfortunately, you guys don't get to see me do it, and fortunately, I don't have to do it. So, it turned out about as good as I could have expected it to. That paint's in great shape. I'm gonna say that moss and stuff definitely protected it. Nothing you can do about that. You can call Chrysler and ask them about that problem. But as far as the paint that hasn't fallen off, it's in great shape. We lost a little bit right there, as you can see, and we've gained a little more brown. But what was I gonna do about that? Turned out pretty good. It's exposed a few scratches naturally, but I think it done turned out fantastic. Especially the good side, like, look at that. And the red pinstripe came out great. I was worried it would come off, but it actually turned out really, really nice. He didn't do the roof though. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. He didn't wax the roof. Like, this paint is perfect. Why wouldn't you wax that? I don't even think he bothered washing it, which is fine. I'm surprised it was done. Look at that. It looks good. I kind of dig the peeled paint look, to be fair. So I was gonna paint the hood. I don't think I'm gonna. I kind of like it. Kind of like it, especially if we, don't do anything about the rust. I kind of like it. Otherwise the motor's still the same, but now it's waxed and stuff. You always do that before you put a motor in. That's what we did. The motor was out of it when we waxed Eggplant, the 97 Grand Caravan. It crossed my mind once, and I was like, there's no way it did, right? There's no way. They think that it jumped a tooth when it hit that stuck valve, and the timing is off. Because I swear, when you crank this thing over, compression, it sounds fine. It cranks over fine. And those valves all moved just fine. Even the stuck one after I broke it free, because it was probably stuck to the valve seat. It was closed and it was stuck to the valve seat. Because when we looked inside the intake port, it didn't look like it was rusty or anything. It had oil on it and carbon. It was stuck to the valve seat inside the piston, or inside the cylinder wall, or head, whatever. Cylinder head. Yeah. But we broke that free, and then it was fine. And then and it sounds like it has compression. If you had an obviously dead cylinder, it would spin over a lot faster and you'd hear it gallop. It doesn't do that now when you crank it. It sounds fine. But when it hit that valve, it not only did it, pop the push rod out and bend it, it jumped a tooth, because it's 155,000 miles. I bet you that's the original timing chain on it, So it probably jumped a tooth, is what they said. And it makes complete sense to me. It would explain the backfiring and all of the excess gas and fuel and whatever. Timing chain will require, so we'll pop the fuel lines off just to get them out of the way. It makes it easier for coming in and out of here. Power steering reservoir will undo, set off the side. Alternator, I believe, can stay. We'll take this motor mount out and we'll, put a jack and a block under that to hold the motor up. Get that motor mount out of the way. I believe this coolant hose, I don't think that needs to go, but it'll make it easier, I think. This bracket's got to go. AC's got to get out of there. Water pump pulley and water pump, idler pulley, tensioner pulley, and then the crank pulley. And then a bunch of bolts, and it should come out. So, it's something like that. I'd hate to have to, well, we got to empty the cooling system, so we'll just take the hose out, because the cooling system runs through the timing cover, so that's all got to come out anyway, so it don't matter. And what's funny is that hose we just put on has to come off, but hey, guess what? It makes it easier now. It makes it easier to put on. It's too bad we went through all that struggle. Well, whatever. Otherwise, yeah, so, I mean, for shits and giggles, I mean, we're gonna, here, I'll prove something to you. So, and one tooth off is not gonna cause it to, you know, have interference, thankfully. But if we pull this, and we hook the battery up, and you listen to this engine, it sounds like it's fine. But, you know, sounds fine. That sounds perfect. That sounds perfect. So, and then when we go to start it, I mean, we've already ran it on it being so far out of time. It's definitely not going to hurt it any worse. Get back in there. This plug does not like me. Come on, Mr. Plug. We're fighting the rubber seal. There it goes. Got it. It should start and kind of run. See that? Yeah. And all the backfiring, it's all in the wrong, so it's out of time. You know, it seems so obvious now, but it's out of time. So, we're gonna do that. We'll do the compression test first, but we're gonna do that. I think they're right. Needed a third pair of eyes. I guess. That's how it goes sometimes, you know. You can't know everything, you can't think of everything. And even me and Dad were both fooled by it. And then he brings it up to a friend. Duh, it's out of time. Duh. You know. It's one of those things. Okay, cool. So we're hoping that we got compression on the front three, because then I won't touch that intake again, because I don't want to go through that effort. You know what I mean? All right. Stop! 140. Stop! 140. Good. 145. All right. Just got out of AutoZone, got the oil pan gasket, got the timing cover kit, got some shop rags because I'm out, water pumps in there, and bam. Taking eggplant up to the cities tonight. I figured I'd come get it tonight, that way, because I'm off tomorrow and Tuesday. Then I wouldn't have to drive up here tomorrow morning and get all that stuff, because I wasn't going to do it tonight anyway. I didn't feel like it. So we got it all. That worked out. Get myself something to eat here. Probably stop at like Quick Trip or something. Oops, that's a little loud. I was jamming to Def Leppard on my way in. So, cool. That should be good. With the shop rags included, which are way too expensive here. Go to like Fleet Farm and buy those. But I didn't feel like stopping at Fleet Farm. I think it was $100, $102 with the water pump or something. It was something like that. Anyway, cool. We got all the parts. Hopefully, we find that the van is jumped a tooth and put a new timing chain in it, all the new gaskets, and then besides the rear main seal that we are going to pretend is fine, it should be. I haven't had an issue with the rear mains on any of them yet. This is where it's going to be a problem, but it's got all new gaskets in it, and chain and water pump, and I did put a new tensioner on it that was free off that other motor, and pulleys all seem fine, but essentially we've gone through the whole motor and it doesn't even run yet. Oh, great. So, all right, that's cool. I'm just glad I had to drive up to Apple Valley for these, so I'm just glad they had them. It's getting harder to get this stuff same day for these older vans. Which kind of sucks, to be fair. But, you know, it is what it is. It's going to be to a point soon where I'll be ordering everything online and waiting a week. Haven't got that far yet. We're doing okay. We've still got everything. Alright, here's where we're at. So, a lot of this stuff we didn't need to take off for the timing job, but I wanted to get a lot of it, one, out of the way so I can clean this area up, and two, so we can reseal the air conditioning system. Put new seals on that, O-rings. So, and that, it doesn't hurt to have it out of the way. It makes it easier to get at the compressor, and it certainly gives you more room in this area. Well, this tensioner pulley's nice. I remember checking that one. I never checked the idler. Junk. Makes noise. I'll see if I can... It's not wobbly or anything, but it makes noise. I'll see if I have a nicer one. I should have one. I should have one that's nicer than that. Otherwise, everything else spins free. You can hear the AC pump doing AC things. Water pump makes noise. Oh, it's wobbly. Can you... You can't tell, but I can feel it. You can actually see the pulley wobble. If you look, just watch that. See it? Good thing we're doing that. That's shot. Alright, well, we got it pretty well stripped down to the timing cover. Obviously, we had to pull the harmonic balancer off yet, and the oil pan, which is what we're going to do next. But here's what it looks like. You know, it's all cleared out. Easy access now, especially with all this extra stuff removed. Be easy to just pop in and pop out. And then there's the parts pile right there. But yeah, this water pump is shot. I showed you that already though, but it's cooked. So, got that coolant line off. That's the one I always forget to put back on. But see how much easier you can get at this? So I'll be able to shrink that up just a little bit like I was planning to, because it had a slight kink in it right there. But if we, now we'll be able to shrink the hose just to what we need. Don't have to touch the tensioner pulley itself. Don't have to touch the power steering pump or anything. Alternator, we don't have to, I don't even have to unbolt it, but I did because I was trying to get that plug wire. But hey, that's all out of the way. Got these vacuum lines tucked up here. Hopefully they're okay. We do got to unbolt the cam sensor right there and pull him out. But I'm going to get an air compressor in here below all this crap out of here too. I don't know whether to be happy about this or sad, but the oil that's got 1/10 of a mile on it and like no runtime is pure black. I assume it's a combination of the seafoam dissolving carbon deposits and sludge and whatever, as well as the gasoline that went into it, you know, and also stirring everything up. So, kind of got a flush, really. Okay, so we know why the oil was black. Look at all the sludge. Despite how clean this engine was, the whole bottom of the pan here, I'm going to scoop it out, is full of sludge. It's like full of sludge. Wow. I assume the chunky looking bits here, like the crumbly bits, are from when I pulled the oil pan off with all the gravel and whatever. But yeah, that's full of sludge. Figure you could have a look up here with me. I haven't looked yet. So that one's all the way down, so we ain't gonna see nothing there. There's one right here, that one, and then we got that one's up a little bit. Looks like cross-hatching to me up there, see that? Yeah, that looks like cross-hatching to me, but that's at the very bottom of the bore, so that doesn't really tell us much anyway. How about that guy back there? He's at the bottom too, that doesn't help. Where's one we can see that's up? There, can we focus on that? Come on, camera, cooperate. There you go. That looks like cross-hatching in the bore where the piston is. Pistons look okay. We got a piston that's up at all? Am I on the perfect spot? That one up there. That one's up. The rest of them are all down, naturally. Can't really see. I can see cross-hatching up there. I don't know about you, but I can see cross-hatching. It looks okay. Everything looks good. Well, you know, that's always good when you break the boss off your cam sensor. That thing was seized in there, and I had it spinning too, and I went to pull it and it snapped. But it broke off in a good way, I think. I think I can glue this back together because that's the metal right there. So we could probably epoxy that back together. Otherwise, I can get one if I go to St. Paul if I need to. But I'm going to try glue that up right now, and that way it'll give it time to set while we pull the timing cover off and obviously do all that, put it back on. But it shouldn't be as hard to get back in either. That's unfortunate. Oh, there we are. It's out. This still has the timing chain guide in it. That's, I think, is going to get removed and not put back. Those tend to explode because they're cheap plastic. But I'm going to get the timing marks lined up here, and we will see where we're at. Okay, guys, so we've got the timing marks set. There's timing mark on the cam, timing mark on the crank, pointed straight up and down at each other. There's a timing mark right there, and there's a timing mark right there. And if we count the links, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 between the two dots on each gear. And that is correct, meaning it is in time. Meaning, I don't know what is wrong. I don't know anymore. I'm out of ideas. Okay, so I've got the compression tester hooked up to number 5. That was a pain in the butt. Get the plug out, no problem, but trying to spin this compression tester hose in there is a pain. I got the fuel pump relay unplugged. The spark coil pack is unplugged. I had to reroute this, and those seemed to allow it to crank. I tapped the key and got it. We have no oil in it. We have no oil pan. We have no oil pump. We're just going to crank it over 2-3 times. See that it's got compression, hopefully. Oh, I got to hook the battery back up. Idiot. Okay. This shouldn't hurt it. Okay, it says at least 120, so I hate doing that. 140, that's a good cylinder. Okay, we'll go a little more. $120. That's a good cylinder. Why is that so much? 200. Well, I would say 190. Okay, so been a little busy here. I've got an actual diagnostic manual here. And I'm not really doing all their tests because I don't have a DRB scanner yet. But I wanted to check the wiring going to the crank sensor and the cam sensor, and it all ohmed out fine. And I can flip back to the page here. I flipped too far. But what we're doing here is we're checking physically the wire between the PCM and the sensor. So we checked the center wire and the left wire, and the right on both are grounds. And we verified that both are below 5 ohms, which is what it asked for. In fact, they ohm out perfect. There is no resistance in the wires, really. So, the wires going to the sensors are good. I need to figure out my multimeter's pissed. I left it on. I need to figure out how to test the actual sensors. That would be nice to know. But wiring going to it is fine. It looks fine. The connectors look okay. The sensors look okay physically. I know the cam sensor's good. It has to be because we watch the injectors all fire. So we know that's good. Crank sensor is what does our spark. And the thing is, we know it's got spark too because I zapped myself on the coil pack multiple times, actually. So it's like that sensor's got to be good too, unless it's super intermittent or something, or it's doing it at the wrong time. In which case it's doing it at the wrong time. I would think there's something wrong with the flywheel. And it doesn't appear from what I can see. And, I mean, the compression ain't great. So from 1 to 6, it's 190, 140, 110, 140, 140, 140. It's not the greatest, you know, considering there's differences and stuff, especially over here. But really, realistically, it should have ran on that, even if it was rough. And some of that compression really could just be sticky rings and, you know, valves that don't have perfect valve seats or corrosion a little bit, you know what I mean, or carbon buildup or whatever. But every cylinder made compression. It really should have ran on that, even if it wasn't perfect. It should have run on that compression. Where in time, we have fuel in the rail. We have fuel spraying out of the injectors. We have spark to here. We had it, at least. And, I mean, we have it because it does run, although very poorly and not good. Yet we're getting backfires and it's into the intake, and, you know, it barely runs, if at all. Throttle response does nothing. It won't go above, you know, 1,000 RPM hardly. We have good oil pressure, so the motor's not seized, you know what I mean? It's not stuck. New plugs, new wires. What else? And don't get me wrong, I am not a professional by any means. But I know enough to know we've got fuel, spark, compression, air. What more do you want? We even checked the computer because we put Grayvan's computer in here and it ran the same. It made no difference. So in theory, that computer is okay because putting a good one in made no difference. So that's not the issue. I'm running out of ideas, man. I mean, we could start checking grounds, but it wouldn't run at all if it had a bad ground, right? I really, really hope one of y'all is screaming at me right now. It's something stupid obvious, and I hope I figure it out here soon. But it really is getting to the point where, well, there's nothing else. I figure, anyway, you know, worst case scenario, the heads are got to come off if we got to figure out what the heck's wrong with it. I mean, really worst case scenario, it's getting a different motor, you know, end all be all. But the heads don't require the timing cover or any of that to be off. We've looked at all of this stuff, you know, put the new chain in it, put the new cam sprocket and whatever. I'm not putting a crank sprocket in it because I'm not pulling the thing off. Never had an issue. But we might as well throw the cam sprocket on there. Why not, right? We got to have the sprocket off to put the chain on anyway. So we'll put the chain on, put the sprocket on, all the new gaskets and whatever. New water pump because it needs it. you know, in a worst case scenario, we can pull all these parts back off and put it on whatever other new motor we end up putting in it if it comes down to it. But before we get that far, I'd like to take the heads off, but that would mean we'd have to pull all of that back apart, which kind of sucks too. But if it don't run, it doesn't matter. I mean, the only other thing it could be is still those injectors, but the injectors, I mean, if they're dumping that much fuel, I guess it could cause the backfiring. But it really didn't make all that much of a difference when we swapped those 94 and 93 injectors. I really think it should have ran on those 94 injectors anyway. Even if it, you know, runs kind of lean or floods out or what, it should still run. It's got gas. It's got fuel and air. I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking it. Maybe I hit my head one too many times. I just had a good thought. The tach works, so the crank sensor works too. Duh. So both the sensors work. Okay, so I've been reading some forums posts for the last hour or two, and I really haven't found very much up until like 10 minutes ago. I found this post. This guy, it was 2007. Funny enough, the guy was from southeastern Minnesota. Had a 94 Plymouth Grand Voyager 3.3. Had 150,000 miles. It would go to start. It would fire immediately on start. Sound good for half a second. And then it would die. And then he said he could keep it running between, you know, 1,000 to 2,000 RPM if he feathers the gas at a specific spot. Other than that, full throttle, die, let off the throttle, die. It said it smelled like fuel, sounded like it was flooding itself out. He said he checked fuel, looking at it with the naked eye, all the injectors were firing, nothing was stuck open. He checked spark. He then checked compression, had 150 around the board. Checked his crank sensor, his cam sensor. Then he went on, checked his timing chain. It's fine. But he had compression, so he figured that was okay anyway. So he was asking, well, what the hell? Why don't it run? Anyway, they went in, he checked the PCM, he went and got an engine computer, got different cam and crank sensors, nothing. He checked fuel pressure too. He had 50 PSI at the rail, which we haven't technically checked, but from experience, the pressure at the rail is fine that we have. It's fine. New pressure regulator he put on it, nothing, still wouldn't run. The map sensor. It was the map sensor. It was the fucking map sensor. He said he figured it wouldn't run at all without that, but lo and behold, he went and unplugged the map sensor, which I have right here unplugged. I'm not going to test it. I'm going to plug it back in actually, because we're going to put this back together and test it without it first. Or with it plugged in. He unplugged it, engine ran, and then he had to check engine light come on, but it ran perfectly. What he described is the exact run condition that we are experiencing, and it was the map sensor. It was the map sensor. It needed a new water pump anyway. And then it's fully resealed. I'm not even that mad. I'd have probably gone in and done this and done a timing chain and everything anyway, just because I didn't know the shape of the motor that has 155 grand on it and has been sitting for 18 years. This doesn't bother me so much as it being the map sensor. So we're going to spend the better part of tonight reconditioning all of this stuff. Oh, and I got one other cool thing to show you. Reconditioning all of this stuff. We're going to clean these up, probably hit them with some engine paint. Clean that gasket surface, replace that water pump, put that back in, replace the oil pan gasket. Clean all this up, clean that engine bay up, put this all back together. Oh, it needed a new idler, so we're going to go dig one up. I'm going to test these horns, and if they don't work, replace them. But, and see if I can find some AC gaskets. Otherwise, I'll leave all the AC stuff, like lines, out for now until I get some gaskets, or maybe I'll just loosely put them in. I should have O-rings. I don't know if I have all the gaskets. But, yeah. Map sensor. I sure hope that's it, because I don't know what else it is. It's got compression, it's got fuel, it's got air, it's got oil. I don't know. I don't know what else it wants. It's got a computer that works. Pulled the timing cover off earlier, and this O-ring is what came out. O-ring, not O-ring shaped. That is the O-ring for right here. And probably for its entire life, that is how that O-ring sat. That's a coolant jacket. So, you're lucky you didn't get coolant in your oil. And you can see that it sat like that because you can see the little line where that's the whole sealing surface right there. That's it. That little bit is all it had to seal. That's crazy. So, good thing that's getting fixed. These O-rings look fine. That's how they're supposed to look, kind of. So we got to scrape that gasket off, get this guy off, replace that O-ring, but don't put this tube on until that cover's on. I just rebuilt all the pulleys and engine brackets and mounts and stuff, so that looks pretty good. Alright, got the timing cover all cleaned up here, and I've got the new water pump on and tightened down, siliconed up. So now we just got to clean up the engine side and we're good to go. I got the oil pan all cleaned up and painted over there. Did that hour or two ago. And we're going back together. Okay, we're checking out the new timing chains and everything. So I got the new cam gear. Here's the new thrust plate we're going to put. I never put these in, actually. I never ever do, but I have it. I might as well. Actually, I have it most of the time and I never do. I probably got a couple of those lying around. But we're just checking the timing chain, looking for stretching or anything. To be fair, the old chain looks perfect. I don't see anything really wrong with it at all. It looks about the same as the new one. Sometimes you can really tell when you stretch them out here. You'll be able to see the other one is stretched, but these ones look pretty good. Anyway, new cam gear. Here's our mark, and as you can see, we got a black link, and then we've got another black link 8 links down, like there's 8 in between, and that is our timing marks. As long as our cam and crank gears are aligned, arrows pointing down and arrow pointing up, like we've got. We're gonna leave a little chain guide in here. You really don't need those anymore. They were revised and removed, but I don't see any reason not to leave that bad boy in there. He ain't going anywhere. Anyway, there's 2 10mm bolts for the thrust plate. We'll pop those out real quick, throw the new thrust plate in, and trust that their machining is good and won't measure anything, and that'll be that. It's Chloe's timing kit anyway. I don't see any issues with that. Anyway, earlier I did get this all cleaned up here, as you can see. It's white. It's not perfect. It's definitely better. Yeah, and then once I think while we have the chain and gears out, we'll clean up these surfaces before we put that in. And then we'll put all that in, but I'll pull that thrust plate out quick. Second thought, I think we're going to leave the old thrust plate and the old gear. There's nothing wrong with that gear. And there's a slight difference here. This might be a 3rd gen set, to be honest with you. If you look here, the thrust plates are clearly different, although the bolt holes line up the same, and the oil galleys are the same, but their thickness is different. Was the first thing that threw me off. I was like, well, that's not right. And then if you flip these pulleys over, the gearing's all the same. That's all the same. The backing piece here is taller on the old gear and shorter on the new gear. So I bet you this guy's taller to make up for the thinner of this guy for some reason. But I don't know. I don't see any reason not to run the originals. They look the same. And I don't want anything to be weird just in case. But yeah, we'll put the old stuff back on. It looks fine. And we will once again put this away in a box with this chain that is just fine. That I'll probably never use anyway. But it's there, just in case, I guess. So we'll put the old stuff back on. These weren't very tight at all. I'm not going to torque these because they're, what, like M8 hardware going into aluminum, so I'll just tighten them down snug. They weren't hardly tight at all. And put that back on with the new chain, and that will be that. Alright, new chain is in. The cam bolt is torqued to 35 foot-pounds. Time to put the cover on. Timing cover is on, and bolts are torqued to 20 foot-pounds. Front main seal installed, and crankshaft installed, and bolt tightened to 40 foot-pounds. Water lines all installed and tightened down. Alright, got the oil pan on, all the bolts tightened down, and all the brackets on as well. Gotta tighten this oil plug here, and then we'll just put some oil in it. Oil is in, so it's safe to start. Okay, so the engine's buttoned up. Got oil in it, you know, got the harmonic on it. Coolant lines are kind of buttoned up down below. But, oh, I got the cam and crank sensors in. They're all plugged in, everything. I kind of just want to hear it run. It's 12:30. So what we're going to do, I got the vacuum stuff hooked up just in case that causes problems if it wasn't. We're going to crank it over, see if we can get it to run poorly. And then we're going to unplug that map sensor and see if it runs any better. We'll just try it. And then I think I'm going to call it a night so I can go to sleep. So, should be all hooked up. In theory. Yep. I'll turn that on for y'all. Time it a few times. Deal with this crappy starter. I don't think it's actually a starter problem, it's an electrical issue. Okay, we're building oil pressure, good. Okay. So we built oil pressure, and it kind of crappily runs, as you can see. We're going to unplug the mass airflow sensor, or map sensor, I guess. See what happens. That's what it was. That's insane. That's what it was. Oh my god. It's idling. Are you kidding me? It's pissed. It's idling. Good oil pressure. It's making a loud ticky noise, but it's got oil pressure, so the pump's working and everything. That sounds like valve train noise, right? Yeah, that's lifter. It idles perfect. You gotta be kidding me. You gotta be kidding me. Will it run? Yeah, it will. After 18 years, it will run. It's running. Okay, we can't run it too long. Maybe another minute or two. That is stupid. There's our check engine light. Thanks. Thanks a lot. Well, I just shut it off. The thing smokes like hell. I don't want to warm it up. We'll get everything back together, and then we will run it through a warm-up procedure. I'm going to go see if I can dig out another map sensor for it quick, though. I should have one. That's insane. Oh my god. Well, I just learned something new today. Something to definitely look out for. Thank you very, very much to that forums post from 2007. I think it was on Dodge Talk or something. I don't know. But, yeah, if you ever have a non-running condition, such as it'll kind of run when you first turn it and then it dies, the map sensor. I've just gained a newfound energy to put it together. You gotta be kidding me. Well, so here, like I said, I was gonna do all that work anyway. But now I don't have to, because I already did it. Yeah, let's get this thing slammed back together. I'm gonna go get me some caffeine. And let's let this thing warm up. Let's take it for a test drive. This guy right here. Goodbye. All right, new map sensors, and that one I know works. It came off Blue Van's old intake actually. So let's see. Turn you guys on here. Wow, and the engine light's off. Ticking's getting a little better. Good. It'll go away once this thing actually gets run and gets heat put in it. Yeah, this thing runs fine. And we're on those original injectors, believe it or not. I do still have the new ones coming. We might put them in, we'll see. Bruh. Well, there you go. Will it run after 18 years sitting? Yes, with a new map sensor. Well, it is just after 4 a.m. I think we last checked in 4 hours ago. And it's all back together. Looks pretty good. I've been topping off coolant here for the last hours. I've been finishing stuff up here. And it's about full. It's taking about 2 gallons, which is about right. So it's just slowly bleeding into the engine. I think we're ready to start it and do a warm-up cycle here. Make sure everything works here. Get it up to operating temp, actually. So here we go. Make sure it still runs after all of what we just did. We'll actually get to hear it warm up. All right, you ready? Make sure everything works too, the alternator and everything. Okay, turn the gauges on, light them up. 3, 2, 1. Oh. Doesn't want to quite run on its own. We're charging, got oil pressure, and we got fuel. Let's let this thing figure its life out. It's idling. Don't have headlights or anything. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, just some valve train noise. Hopefully that goes away. It should. It's in the motor. Rad fan works. As you can see, we've come up to temp, or we're coming up to temp. I think the thermostat should open here at some point. Got plenty of oil pressure, we're charging, got fuel. That's a weird kind of noise at idle. You hear that? That loud, obnoxious tick is gone, but we still have that weird ticky noise. Somewhere over here. Everything seems to be working all right. Look at that. All the pulleys are running true. Wait for that thermostat to open up here. Still cold though. It's getting better. It's getting quieter. High speed fan. Oh look, it sucked all the coolant in. It did open up, good. Crank up. I knew it would open up. And once more. Let's see what I got. Come here. 50-50. I think this is universal, so I'm out of green, but whatever. Yep, fans just shut off after I dumped a bunch of coolant in it. Drank a bunch. It's kind of lukewarm now. So I would say it is definitely full now. There, cap that off. We'll check on it later after we drive it, or whatever. Let everything circulate. I'm gonna try to look up which relay the headlights are on. See if I can find it. Everything's looking good right now. Oil pressure it's got some. It's up to temp. It's got gas and it's charging. Look at that. I got headlights. So.
And those lights are all cloudy.
Yeah, they're not bad at all. I got headlights. So we do this, do that. Boom. So here's the headlight circuit breaker, and here's the headlight relay. I pulled this out and I could hear a relay clicking, and so I found it was this relay right here. And I popped this relay in and out a couple times, didn't do it. Popped the high beams on and off a couple times, so I'd pop it and it wouldn't stay on. A couple times after hitting it, it stuck on, and then the headlights were working. So I don't know if it was this switch or the relay or a combination of both, but we got headlights. We don't have running lights, but I don't care about them up front.
That's a little better.
It's getting quieter. Runs great. What do you mean a little better? It's been running for about 30 minutes. Well, I just had a cup of coffee while letting this thing sit here and idle. I think it's getting quieter. We'll see. It's definitely a lifter. It's got oil pressure though. It's got charging. We've got the temps. We've got the RPMs. Cooling system seems to be working great. So let's take this thing for a test drive. Oh, here goes nothing. Question.
You were backing up and it was a big plane.
Yeah, I heard it. I don't know. What am I going to do about it? I don't know. That could be transmission noise too. I don't know. I don't know. Did you guys hear that when I put it in gear backing up? The brakes work though. It definitely made a weird noise when backing up here. So we'll do it again, naturally. I don't know. No, it's engine noise, I think. I don't know, it's not too bad. We're gonna ignore it. Oh. Brakes make a really weird noise when I press on them. Gotta roll up this window here. Oh. Oh, the door locks and unlocks work. Great. There we go. You guys can't see anything. I'm rolling up the passenger window. There. I'll crack mine. I don't want anything to like blow in here, you know what I mean? That's a noise. Well, here we go. Reverse is strong. You guys can't see anything. Okay, well, here, you guys watch the cluster here. So I got gears. Second gear. Third gear. Oh, high beams work really well. Fourth gear. Transmission's good. We'll take it slow here. We'll just do a quick lap here. We'll go back to the house. We'll verify the engine is still of sound shape-ish, maybe. And then we'll do another lap. Just a nice slow little meander here. The transmission does appear to be good. We give it gas, it moves. That's for sure. I don't know what that, you hear that noise? It's like the leaking like vacuum out of the back of the brakes or something. I don't know, that's weird. Whatever, they work right now. So I'm not gonna complain too hard. I'm also not gonna press them too hard, because they kind of work. Power steering works good though. Doing a U-turn. Yeah, we must be leaking like vacuum pressure out down there or something. I don't know. It's weird, like vacuumy air noise. Got oil pressure. Still charging. Temp looks good. Transmission shifts perfect. And the way it's got a respray on it, I really think it's been rebuilt, to be honest with you. Something's happened to it, because that color is not factory. I've never seen that before, that gray paint that's on it. Well, we've gone 1 mile almost. It's at 0.9, but it has rolled over to 155,192. Oh, let's see how bad the damage is. I can't really hear anything right now, so that might be a good sign. Slow roll up to the house. There's its first drive. Will this 1993 Plymouth Grand Voyager run and drive after being off the road since 2006? Yes, it will. Hear that? Listen to that. I'm in park. It's letting air out. Oil pressure's, like I said, it's a little low, but it's not that bad, to be honest with you. Maybe run some 1030. Seems okay. Let me grab the flashlight. Where is it? Right there. Let's go take a look. Make sure we didn't do anything catastrophic. Leaking anything? Nope. Well, I can smell stuff burning off now, that's for sure. Here, you guys hold the hood. Yeah, we got stuff burning off now. Still making that same ticky noise. All kinds of goodies burning off down there. Seems okay though. Okay. I'll take it for a longer drive here. Oh, I suppose check the trans fluid, huh? How do I want to do that? There, you guys. Yeah, let's go get a rag. Alright, got the dipstick wiped off. It's in the warm range, so it's good. It's got enough fluid in it. Well, seems good enough. We're going to take it for a good lap. I did clean a spot in the windshield, so I can kind of see a little better now. Yeah, it's a lot better, actually. Alright, so, too bad. The seat is physically stuck, so I can't move it forward. So I can't do anything. Should put... Oh, the seatbelt was froze. It's no longer. Probably need that. Okay. Yeah, the noise is louder when you put it in gear, so when the engine's under load. But yeah, this transmission works fine. Seems to anyway. Good. Okay. Try to pay attention to the road here and the van, so you're just kind of following along with me. Feels like the brakes might be hung up a little bit, which is not surprising one bit. We're resurfacing them if that's the case right now. Actively resurfacing them. Seems to drive okay, actually. Steering wheel is pretty straight, so that's good. Goes down the road okay. It's not pulling right now or anything. Yep. See if my seatbelt unlocks. That would be great. It even retracts. Wow. Okay. Smell all of the burning things. Nothing's on fire though, so that's good. Something definitely smells burning. Warm, not hot by any means. Can't tell with this hubcap. Warm, not hot by any means. This tire looks like it's kind of still there. This tire looks like it's still there. Not warm by any means. That tire looks like it's still there. Pop the hood. Make sure we're not burning up. Because I kind of smell burning leaves, I'm not going to lie to you. Nothing's on fire, so good enough for me. Alright, well, we got 4 tires still. back off. Away we go. Well, here we go. Onto the asphalt. Oh, there's a square. We are driving on squares. Tell you, that thing shifts pretty early. There it goes, downshift, accelerate. Wow, even accelerates. I can hear the air coming around the windshield. Mint. Well, she's doing just under 50 allegedly. About all the farther I want to push it. There's a car coming my way. Turn the high beams off. And it turned off successfully, so that's good news. He's left his on. You know, just murder me, why don't you? Okay, thanks, appreciate it. Yep, you're cool. Yep, thanks. Fuck you too, asshole. Bruh. I'll slowly come to a stop. Oh, when I hit the brakes, it seems to let off. I can feel it let off. So they're not stuck if they're stuck, but I don't think they're stuck. Which is good. I'll just work them lightly. Considering we have an air leak, it appears. Turn around, we'll do one more pass. Brakes have developed a squeak. All right, well, she made it. Pop the hood, let's take a look. 155, 198. Seems fine. I think it'll come out of it. It's got to. It's got no choice. It's going to come out of it whether it likes it or not. She's still running. She's in one piece. I smelled burning leaves for a little bit there, but it kind of went away. Nothing's on fire, so good enough for me. Not leaking anything either. That's nice. Well, let's see if it'll shut off and restart. Fire's right up. Well, the tires seem all okay. Front brakes are warm, but what do you expect, really? I'm surprised they work. I'm going to take it for a quick lap on my own here, just so I get a full feel for the thing and just really listen to it. And then I'm going to go to bed, you know, because that's what I'm going to do. But, sounds good. It's running on all 6 strong. That's good. It's not smoking or anything. You see that? It's not smoking at all. So, Fires right back up. Got, you know, lights. So that's cool. Yeah. Well, we have, I would say, successfully saved this poor Plymouth Voyager from going to the scrapyard. And I think, you know, that's going to wrap up the whole Will It Run. I'm sure there's going to be a part or 3 to this. I'd love to do it in one part for you guys, but I with all the work, I don't know that I'll get it into one part. We'll see. We'll see if I can do some editing magic. But, you know. But at the same time, there's plenty more that's got to get done. Obviously, it runs, it drives. We got to, you know, make it reliable. We got to get tires on it. We got to get the brakes to actually work. Fix all the electrical stuff. The interior's shot. You know, windshield's junk. You know, all that kind of good stuff. Still got to service the transmission. And then drive it. And then drive it. Like I said, I think that'll do it. At least for now. I gotta go park this thing in the shed now, like I said I would. Because I gotta finish this, but I also gotta redo the rear wheel bearings on Gray Van because they're shot, because the grease I used was not the right grease apparently, and it all leaked out, you know, naturally. So anyway, thank you all for watching. That was a struggle to get this one to run, but you know, it's been sitting for 18 years, and here it sits idling after doing its first drive. Well, there it is. Made it back. The brakes are definitely cooking. I can smell them. But hey, we just resurfaced the rotors, so there you go. Tires are all still there. It's getting quieter, so that's good. I gave it some RPMs. Yeah. Sounds good. See if it'll restart one more time. Got 155, 200 on the clock, 9.6 miles under its belt. Fires right up. Look at that. Alright, that'll call it for that. I'm going to leave the battery in and see if it burns down. Right, well, if it's on fire, it's because I left the battery on.